Good evening, everybody. Welcome to a very special edition of the Sports Beat with Richard Holdridge, presented by Georgia Alabama Sports Live. I am doing an emergency podcast tonight because earlier today the news broke that the AA affiliate of the Atlanta Braves, the Mississippi Braves, will be moving to Columbus for the 2025 season. There's a lot of questions out there, a lot of baseball fans wondering how this move will affect sports in Columbus and the economy and everything. And I'm here just to talk about the move itself. I mean, this is huge. I mean, the last time that Columbus had a minor league baseball team was 2008 with the Columbus Catfish. Before that, from 1991 to 2002, they had the Columbus Red Sticks. They were both in the Sally League. That is low single A. But this is a double-A team that is moving to Columbus. They'll play in the Southern League. The last time that a Southern League team was in Columbus, looking at the roster, it was the Columbus Astros. Back in 1988, the Columbus Mudcats, they played at Golden Park from 89 to 90. And then you had the Columbus Red Sticks from 1991 to 2002. The Columbus Catfish was the last team to play at historic Golden Park for minor league baseball back in 2003 to 2008. I've been here in Columbus since 2015, and, I love baseball. I'm a huge baseball fan. I mean, this is a huge move. This is definitely the biggest sports story since I've done my podcast, and I felt like I've had to go on Facebook Live and YouTube Live here on the Sports Beat to talk about this move. If you're just joining us, the Mississippi Braves will be relocating to Columbus, Georgia for the 2025 baseball season. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of questions. What is going to happen to the Columbus Chattahoots? The Columbus Chattahoots are the team, the summer collegiate baseball team that has been in existence since 2021. They play in the Sun Belt Baseball League, and it's a great product. I love going to Chattahoots games. I'll take my family there. It was a great atmosphere. Unfortunately, they are not going to call Golden Park their home, and I am not even 100% sure if they are going to even have a season. But I actually give a lot of credit to the Columbus Chattahoots for paving the way for Major League Baseball. Now, there's two sides to both stories. There's a lot of fans out there that don't like this move. They feel like it's a lot of money to spend to renovate Golden Park to get a AA team here. And I'm looking at the minor league teams in the AA. You got to start out with the Montgomery Biscuits, which is going to be probably a geographical rival for the Columbus baseball team. And you also have teams like the Biloxi Shuckers and the Pensacola Blue Wahoos. So looking at the Southern Baseball League and their teams, the stadiums average about 5,000 to 8,000 fans. Now, historic Golden Park can hold about 4,000 fans. In fact, in 2022, back in April, the Savannah Bananas sold out Golden Park, and they had over 4,000 fans. The fans are going to come to the ballpark. You also got to remember the difference between minor league baseball compared to the Chattahoots Summer Baseball League. The Chattahoots started in June, and the regular season ends in July, and then the SBL Championship is sometime in the middle of August. This is going to be a little bit different. The baseball season is going to start in April. What does this mean for sports in Columbus? This could affect the Columbus River Dragons. This could affect the Columbus Lions. And also, I've been getting some feedback from people outside of the Columbus area, including friends that I know in the Atlanta area. This is a huge sports story outside of Columbus. They're talking about it on Fox 5 in Atlanta. They're talking about it in Montgomery. They're talking about it in Birmingham. Huge sports story here in the Fountain City. The Atlanta Braves, AA affiliate, the Mississippi Braves, will be moving to Columbus for the 2025 season. It was a unanimous decision as, actually, no, it was a 6-3 vote. The city council, led by former Major League Baseball player Glenn Davis, the two-time All-Star. He is a city councilman. There's a lot of moves that spearheaded this, and just looking at both sides of the coin, because there's always those fans that don't like this move at all. And I really feel bad for the Columbus Chattahoots. I love the Columbus Chattahoots. I got to call some of their games. It really was an outstanding experience. I had a great time calling games with Tom Callahan and Noah Shelton. And last season, we had just a great time. And the Chattahoochee Monsters, who called Golden Park their home as well. I hate to see those teams go. I mean, I got to know some of the players. College baseball players deserve a shot to play in a summer league somewhere. I mean, there's going to be other leagues. The SBL's not going anywhere. I was hoping that the Chattahoots would maybe play their games at Columbus State, or maybe bring back the Phoenix City Crawdads, or why not go up to LaGrange? They have a nice baseball stadium right there for LaGrange College. I don't want to see the Chattahoots go away because I love SBL baseball, but now we turn the corner, we turn the page, 2025, April, the SBL, of the Southern League, minor league baseball, AA. It's a huge deal. I used to work for a AA team back in 2006. I worked for the West Tennessee Diamond Jacks, which was a AA affiliate of the Chicago Cubs. They later became the Jackson Generals, and then they folded the season after 2020 with the COVID-19 pandemic. And so they never came back. But looking at some of the teams that the new baseball team in Columbus is going to be playing, first of all, you got to start with the Montgomery Biscuits. Only an hour and a half away from Columbus. This is going to be probably a huge rivalry. They're going to be in the Southern Division with the Biloxi Shuckers and the Pensacola Blue Wahoos. The North Division is going to have the Birmingham Barons. We all know about the Birmingham Barons and Michael Jordan. The Chattanooga Lookouts, one of the oldest minor league teams out there. The Rocket City Trash Pandas. I know a lot of fans from the Huntsville area love the Rocket City Trash Pandas, and the Tennessee Smokies. So you got 8 teams. The Southern League in AA baseball. There's opportunities to host the AA All-Star Game. There's going to be opportunities to expand the brand, and a lot of job opportunities as well. They're talking about building more hotels, more restaurants. I think it's going to thrive the economy for Columbus. And there's also that other side that's saying, well, minor league baseball failed in Columbus. That's why the Columbus Catfish are no longer here. And that's why, the Columbus Red Sticks, they actually transitioned and changed their name from the Red Sticks to the Columbus Catfish in 2003. But we haven't had minor league baseball since 2008. And I know that I probably need to talk to several people that remember, when the Columbus Catfish were here, and it was a big moment when they won the Sally League against the West Virginia Power in 2007. Now we have an opportunity to see an Atlanta Brave AA affiliate play in Columbus, and which means you got the Rome Generals, or the Rome Emperors up in Rome. Used to be called the Rome Braves. They're going to be single A, high single A. And then you have the Columbus team in AA. You have the Gwinnett Stripers, triple A, and then the Atlanta Braves. So you're going up the farm system, and if you're in the Atlanta Braves organization, you don't have to leave the state of Georgia. I think that's really cool. It's also going to attract people outside of the Columbus area to come to a AA Braves game. I mean, like I said, this is statewide news. That this is on Atlanta stations talking about a minor league team coming to Columbus. This is the biggest sports story since the COVID-19 pandemic. I've been doing my podcast for 4 years, and this is definitely the biggest sports story since I've covered sports here in the Chattahoochee Valley. A big deal. I was kind of torn about getting on here on Facebook Live and talking about this because I love the Columbus Chattahoots. I hate to see them go. But this is the right move. I think that it's the perfect timing because we've had 4 professional sports teams, and we haven't had that in a long time. and then, with the Columbus Rapids going away, we still have the Columbus River Dragons. We still have the Columbus Lions. There's talks of an outdoor soccer team coming, and just getting a minor league baseball team would just add more revenue, and it will build the economy. And there's a lot of great sports fans here. Columbus is a great baseball town. Great baseball players like you got Frank Thomas, you got Tim Hudson, Edwin Jackson, Glenn Davis, who didn't grow up here, but he calls Columbus home. There's so many great baseball players, and I think it's really going to help the Fountain City just continue to grow. All right, so don't forget, tomorrow, the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show, myself, Thrift Behringer, we'll have several basketball coaches. We're going to talk about the national championship. We're going to preview some of the games we're going to be at for Georgia Alabama Sports Live this week. Did not have a whole lot of action in high school basketball. Usually Tuesday nights is the night where I'll just break down all the scores for all the high school basketball games. But a lot of the high school basketball games were postponed till tomorrow because of the inclement weather. The Muskogee County School District actually had a virtual day for all their students. And so you got some big games that are happening tomorrow. Let's start with Hardaway taking on Westover. This is a very huge region matchup between Hardaway and Westover. Westover, if you remember, went to the state championship and lost to Spencer in 2021 for 4A. And now you have Spencer. They're now a 2A school. They are undefeated in their region. They're taking on the Southwest Patriots, one of the top teams in 2A, and they are taking them on tomorrow on the campus of Spencer High. And still, a lot of great games happening. You got Lee Scott Academy, Glenwood coming up. You got Central taking on Opelika. That's going to happen tomorrow. Russell County taking on Pike Road, or taking on Park Crossing. They actually beat Pike Road over the weekend. And then we also have the big game on Friday, Hardaway and Shaw. That is going to be a very big region matchup between two teams, which I think are both going to make the playoffs, but they're in a tough region with Bainbridge, Cairo, and Westover. Only 4 of those teams will make the playoffs. Just going through, let's go over the girls' schedule here, because the same teams are going to be facing off as well. Hardaway taking on Westover, the Hardaway girls. The Spencer girls are going to be taking on Southwest. And then you got the Shaw Raiders and Lady Raiders that are going to be taking on Chatco. And you can catch all those games in town. If you're a basketball fan, come on out and see some good high school basketball. And the Columbus State Cougars and Lady Cougars, they are going to be on the road taking on Georgia Southwestern University down in Americus, Georgia. Columbus State, 8-3, 2-0 in the Peach Belt. The Columbus State Lady Cougars are 5-5, 1-1 in the Peach Belt. And let's get a look at some of the scores that's happened as far as LaGrange College. I mean, they're going to be on the road. They're actually on the road right now taking on Piedmont College. I'm trying to get a score update for you in those games, as they will get ready to take on Berea coming up. They actually did defeat, no, not Piedmont, they did defeat Covenant. The LaGrange Panthers defeated Covenant 96-59. The LaGrange Lady Panthers defeated Covenant 71-49. Remember that the Columbus River Dragons, they are in first place in the Continental Division in the Federal Prospects Hockey League. They are taking on the Elmira River Sharks for a 2-game series. Puck drop 7:30 at the Columbus Civic Center. All right, let's get into some of the national news. I know I talked a lot about the local news, and I really wanted to get on and talk about the Columbus minor league baseball team that is coming to the Fountain City in 2025. All right, so we did have another firing. Black Monday was yesterday, but Mike Vrabel is out as Tennessee Titans head coach. This is kind of puzzling. Remember, he led the Titans to the AFC Championship in 2020, where they lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. And I know that the Titans did not have the season that they wanted. They finished 6-11. I still think Mike Vrabel is a good coach, and I think that he will probably get the Patriots job. I see him taking the New England Patriots job because I think that Bill Belichick is going to be the next coach to go, and who knows where he's going to be. He's not going to retire. Bill Belichick is just not one of those coaches that is going to retire. All right, wild card playoffs coming up this weekend. Oh, we got some great matchups. Saturday, you got the Houston Texans taking on the Cleveland Browns. Joe Flacco, the ageless wonder, 39 years old. The Browns are on their fourth quarterback, and that tells you what a good team they are. Taking on the Houston Texans and their rookie sensation at quarterback, C.J. Stroud, who's only 22 years old. And I got to say, what DeMeco Ryans has done as the Houston Texans coach has been outstanding. And then you have on Peacock the Miami Dolphins, who have been limping into the playoffs, taking on the Kansas City Chiefs, the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs, who are a shell of themselves. They don't have a number one receiver, but they are playing at home. It's going to be 8 degrees outside. I think that the Chiefs end up winning that game. Sunday, we got a very exciting triple header for you. The Steelers taking on the Bills. You got the Packers taking on the Cowboys. And then Jared Goff facing his old team. Matt Stafford facing his old team. Rams and Lions. The Rams are the most dangerous team in the playoffs. And it's got me worried as a 49ers fan. Because if the Rams win and if the Cowboys beat the Packers, the Rams are going to play the 49ers in the divisional round. And the 49ers just lost to the Rams in the regular season with their third and fourth string players. The Rams, Carson Wentz, who's been a 49ers killer, was able to get the victory. And then Monday night, we got the Philadelphia Eagles, who are limping into the playoffs. They started 10-1. They finished the regular season at 11-6. Taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which I think the Buccaneers could possibly win that game. And they could end up playing the Cowboys if the Rams end up winning. But more than likely, I think the Lions will win. They'll face the Cowboys in the divisional round. And then the 49ers will take on the winner of Philly and Tampa Bay, which if the Niners play on Saturday like they always do in the divisional round when they get the number one seed, that's a huge advantage for the home team, because Philly and Tampa are going to be playing on a short week. And if they do play on Saturday, they're going to be playing on a really short week. College basketball, I just want to go through some of this, just underway at Neville Arena. The Auburn Tigers, newly ranked number 16 in the country, taking on Texas A&M, and they are leading by 5, 16-11 early on in that game. Kentucky ends up defeating Missouri 90-77. Texas sneaks by Cincinnati 74-73. You got Purdue locked in a close battle with the Nebraska Cornhuskers. And let's take a look at that Georgia Tech Notre Dame game. This is a must-win for Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is up by 2. That game is at McCamish Pavilion. Hey, it is Tuesday, which means every Tuesday from here on out, I'm going to have my bracketology show. So my bracketology show, what I like to do is I like to project my 4 number 1 seeds. Now, it is early in the basketball season. A lot could change, but here are going to be my 4 number 1 seeds. All right, you ready? It's going to be Purdue. They are the overall number 1 seed. You got Kansas. You got UConn, and you got Houston. Now, Tennessee, they're kind of teetering on that number 1 seed. It just depends on if they win the SEC. But you also got Kentucky there. I think that they're going to cannibalize each other's. I think that Houston is in a weaker conference. I think Houston will get a number 1 seed. All right, so you got my last 4 in. These are the bubble teams. These are the teams that will be playing in that first round. They'll be like a number 11 seed or a number 12 seed, and they will play in that first round. Northwestern, Mississippi State, Wake Forest, and James Madison. Boy, I tell you, James Madison's having a great year in football and in basketball. The first 4 out. These teams are going to be hosting an NIT. So they'll be the number 1 seeds in the NIT. Florida, Nebraska, Virginia, TCU. Which means I don't see Georgia as projected to be in this tournament. And they're 11-3. Georgia needs to start rattling off some wins. The next 4 out: New Mexico, Kansas State, Texas Tech, and Seton Hall. Although Seton Hall got a big win over Shaka Smart and Marquette. I don't know what's happening with Seton Hall. I think Seton Hall definitely needs to get some love and to get some recognition for being a top team, but they got to get some more wins in the Big East. But I tell you, we've been really flying by the show. If you're just joining us, Mississippi Braves, the AA affiliate of the Atlanta Braves, has decided they're going to relocate to Columbus in 2025. It's going to be bittersweet. We're not going to have baseball in Columbus in 2024. And I know that hurts. I love going to baseball games. It's just going to have some emptiness, but it's all going to be built up. April of 2025, remember the minor league season goes from April to September. It's going to be a lot of games, long games. It's going to have region rivals. We'll end up taking a road trip to go see them play the Montgomery Biscuits. They're only an hour and a half away. It's going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine. We love baseball here. I'm losing my voice. Oh, please don't let it be like 3 weeks ago. That was awful. But I think that it will work out. I just don't want to see the Columbus Chattahoochee leave because I just have emotional ties with them. Knowing Coach Smith, Coach Long, just Tom Callahan, calling games with him, Noah Shelton. I just had so many memories of doing the Columbus Chattahoochee games, and I'm going to miss it. I tell you, I'm going to miss it terribly. All right, let's go ahead before we close out this show. Let's talk about the NBA because Ja Morant's out for the season for the Memphis Grizzlies. I know, he just got back. That's huge. That is huge news, and that is going to impact the Memphis Grizzlies as a team. Obviously, the season's over. They'll probably go into the lottery, and hopefully they can get a decent player because I do think the Grizzlies are a very well-run organization. It's just that Ja Morant is a superstar, and he is injury-prone. Kings beating the Pistons 131-110. Minnesota T-Wolves, they are just continuing to roll as the best team in the Western Conference. How are they doing it? How are the Minnesota Timberwolves being as good as they are? It's not just the big three of Rudy Gobert, the Ant-Man, and Karl Anthony Towns. I love Jaden McDaniels. I think he is a very special player. You also have the leadership of Mike Conley Jr. They have a deep team. They have a team with a lot of players that want to play well for their coach, and I think that the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to be a good regular season team. I just don't know what they are going to do in the playoffs. It is very hard to get into the playoffs and start winning. Yeah, the Golden State Warriors did it in 2015. A lot of speculation was how can a jump shooting team win the championship, but they came out of nowhere. Would love to see the Minnesota Timberwolves do the same thing. Look, they saw some success with Kevin Garnett. I mean, I'm looking at, they went to the playoffs from 1996 all the way to 2004. 2004 was when they lost in the Western Conference Finals to that super team Lakers team, and then they didn't make the playoffs until 2018 under Tom Thibodeau. But, hey, they've made the playoffs their last 2 seasons. Chris Fitch, he is their coach, and he's got the Timberwolves. They lost both times in the first round. Maybe this is the season where they get into the second round. I would like to see that. Definitely the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Oklahoma City Thunder, same thing. Got a superstar in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They got probably one of the candidates for Rookie of the Year, but I don't think he's going to win Rookie of the Year. It's Chet Holmgren. I mean, you look at Victor Wembanyama, he is historically doing things that nobody has ever done. And last time, maybe Shaq back in 92. And then you look at some of the other rookies that have really stepped up. I'm going to talk a little bit about the rookies in the NBA because it's not just Wembanyama and Chad Holmgren. I mean, they're doing good, but I also think based off of what I have here, the 2024, the 2023, 2024 stats, yeah, I mean, there we go. Yeah, Victor Wembanyama averaging 19.3 points a game, 10 rebounds. I mean, that's pretty good for just a second or third year player. Chad Holmgren, 17.8 points a game. He's averaging 7.3 rebounds. Brandon Miller, talented player from the University of Alabama. He's going to get first team all rookie. I don't consider him a bust. I think the Charlotte Hornets, once they get LaMelo Ball back, you got Terry Rozier, you got some good players. And then Jaime Jaquez. Man, this guy, Miami just finds these diamonds in the rough. Undrafted free agents. Jaime Jaquez with 13.7 points a game. And then Scoot Henderson starting to get his point average up. He was hovering at 9 points a game. Not quite a bust. I think that Scoot Henderson is starting to play at his game. And then you got Keontae George from the Utah Jazz. And then you also have Jordan Hawkins from the New Orleans Pelicans. So those are all the rookies that are in double figures. You got, who is that from the Golden State Warriors? Brandon Pozamecki, and then Dupe Reef from the Portland Trailblazers. Derek Lively II from Dallas, and then Usar Thompson from the Detroit Pistons. Bilal Coulibaly from the Washington Wizards, and then Cam Whitmer from the surprising Houston Rockets. Ime Udoka has got the Houston Rockets possibly a playoff team. I just like keeping up on the rookies. I'll be exciting to see who gets selected for the NBA All-Star game. But, yeah, we are really in full effect when it comes to sports here in the Chattahoochee Valley. And that is just about it. That is all the time I have here on the show. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to this special episode of the Sports Beat with Richard Holdridge, presented by Georgia Alabama Sports Live. I hope everybody has a great rest of your night. And I will see you tomorrow for the Georgia Alabama Sports Live show that I'm going to do with Thrift Behringer. It's going to be a lot of fun. So hope everybody has a great rest of your night, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.